Good afternoon and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. We are live ahead of Game Week 37 with a lot of big decisions to be made this game week. Only obviously 2 weeks left of the season. However, it does feel like this could be a very, very big week, especially in terms of captaincy. That is the big decision I think that is plaguing a lot of FPL managers this week. Who do I give the armband to? Hopefully, in today's stream, I can give you the right information that really helps you make the best picks for this game weeks. I can see we've already got some absolute legends in the chat already. Thank you so much for your continued support. Like I said, it really is appreciated. And this season, you've just been immense. Genuinely, from start to finish, immense. So I can't thank you enough for all your continued support this season. It really, like I says, has been appreciated. And yeah, let's just keep on going. We'll be back for the World Cup, making you World Cup content and stuff like that. So yeah, let's just see where we end up. I can see Brad's in the chat. Braw, Disley Ever After's in the chat as well. Yeah, let me know who you're going to look for captains for this game week. Obviously, we've got a poll up. I am interested to see what people go for. If you're voting other, do let me know in the comments which way you're going with other. But yeah, it seems ridiculously split this game week. Really, really split. I'm just going to quickly blow my nose 1 second. There we go. I sneezed before we came live, and it's obviously impacted my nose. People saying, why is there no Haaland on there? Haaland isn't on there because for me personally, I probably wouldn't look at Haaland. You know, you're going to be in a position where City will have just played the FA Cup. Again, they might see that Arsenal win convincingly against Burnley and decide, like, maybe we just rotate a little bit. The boys have had a hard day at the FA Cup. Do we rotate a little bit? It's just something to maybe consider. So for me personally, Haaland's got another game before he even gets to Tuesday. He might even just come off the bench. Like, it genuinely might just be like a, you know, 1-pointer bench appearance. So for me personally, I'm not going anywhere near Haaland. I'm ruling him out for the reason that he actually plays before he, you know, features in FPL. So that's the reason I'm ruling Haaland out. For me, my personal captains are Gabriel, Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Guimaraes as a potential, like, differential captain if we really want to push it. We're at 191k. It's not been the greatest season. I would still like a top 100k finish. However, we're going to need something miraculous to happen this week for that to be accomplished, realistically, in my opinion. I think probably the more realistic aim is like a top 150k. That's probably more likely where we're going to be at this game week. But yeah, I think like this is the big decision this week is who do you go for captain, isn't it? People asking Gyökeres. Yeah, Gyökeres is also you know, maybe another shout as well. Burnley pretty poor from goals conceded to forwards. You know, you got the fact that he's on penalties as well, which definitely gives him an advantage over Saka. The problem is Havertz is back, and if they are a couple goals up, maybe Havertz comes on for Gyökeres. That's kind of where my head's at with that one. Do I think it would be worth to take Haaland out? Definitely not. No. Free hit tips. Yeah, we can put together a free hit side for you, but realistically, you probably are going to be going triple Arsenal straight off the bat. I would personally have Bruno Guimaraes. We can look what my models pumped out in a second for a best free hit side as well. Who's the best midfielder to buy with a free transfer? I have Sobo, Fernandes, Rice already. My top two for this game week is going to be Bruno Guimaraes. Looks like Anthony Gordon potentially is never going to play for Newcastle again, right? So that means for me that Bruno G is on penalties, free kicks, corners, can hit defensive contributions, and everything good that Newcastle do comes through Bruno Guimaraes. So he's my number one pick. Second is going to be Iliman Ndiaye. Can hit defcon, on penalties as well. And if you look at the goals conceded for the next two opponents for Everton, you've got the fact that Sunderland are 6 for goal involvements conceded from left wingers, and Spurs are 3rd, I want to say, for left wing goal involvements conceded. So for me personally, yeah, I probably would be looking at this and saying, yeah, they're the top two I would be considering. Both pretty good options. Both have penalty share as well. So yeah, both could go pretty big this game week. Play Semenyo or Bowen. Bowen 100%. I never want to bench a penalty taker or any kind of, stretch of the imagination. I imagine people that had Dominic Calvert-Lewin on the bench last week are kind of going to be living by that mantra a little bit more. Never benched a penalty taker. There you go. Just joined. What do you think of Mascara? I personally wouldn't go for it. Yeah. Again, probably a non-option for me. Chucky to Trossard for a punt. Again, I don't hate it. I have Watkins over Soberslai. Yeah, I don't think I would do that. I'm a little bit unsure if Watkins plays tonight. I genuinely am a little bit scared what that Villa lineup's going to look like. Remember, they have got their European final, which could be their route into European football on Wednesday night. So do bear that in mind. We might see quite a bit of Villa rotation, some early substitutions as well from Villa as well. So yeah, just do bear that in mind. The problem with Beto is he doesn't have penalties, so that devalues him already. You've also got to look at the fact that they've just got Barry just sat there, and you look at the back-to-back games he's played since returning from his concussion. It's been around like 60, 70th minute substitution, so yeah, for the price point, he's all right. But for me personally, I'm just not feeling it. Do get your likes in, guys. Get your questions in as well. Obviously, the more people that like the stream, the more it gets pushed out. And that is exactly what we want to do on today's stream. Hi, mate. Would you go Trossard or Saliba? Already have Gabriel and Saka. I personally would probably go Saliba then. Have Gabriel and Raya. Can't afford Saliba. Need a third Arsenal defender for the last 2 game weeks. Why do you need a third one? Because if Arsenal keep it clean this week and City drop points, that's them done. Then you're going to be looking for 3 new defenders, realistically. Just something to bear in mind for people that are, maybe looking at triple ups and stuff like that. Which other defender do I really think is worth it? It's so hard to say because Calafiori, I think, is fine, and I think it was more a tactical decision. Miles Lewis-Skelly, yeah, can play in midfield and is the cheapest route into there. But they've got Zubimendi who could very easily just come in and play that role anyway. So you're looking at it and you are just thinking to yourself, I'm really unsure who they're going to put at the back. I really, really am. We'll have to wait and see for the jump the wave predictions around some of the percentages of the other defenders. But yeah, I think outside of Saliba, Gabriel and Raya, probably wouldn't touch any of the other defenders. I really wouldn't. What about Isak? He won't be the penalty taker, and I wouldn't personally consider him. No. Start one of Watkins, Bijou, Ampadu, and Hill. I think if we get early Villa team news and Watkins is there, you play Watkins. Otherwise, I probably would be tempted to maybe play Bijou or Ampadu. Sell Tavernier for KDH or just roll and play stack. I don't mind just rolling and playing stack. That is completely fine. KDH, though, I do like, and he is very good for a points per game perspective. And my model absolutely loves and adores him as well. João Pedro to Gokres or Lacroix to Saliba. Already got Gabriel and Saka. I personally would hold on to João Pedro. I don't think he's a bad option for this game week against Spurs either. So, yeah, I probably would be more tempted with the other move you've suggested there and going with Saliba in. Jake, hope you're doing good, man. One of our FPL Cartel Discord members. If, of course, you want to get yourself involved in that, that is where we do all of our team reviews now as well. That's where my model's based. So much good stuff going off in there. You know the drill by now. That is in the description. There you go. It's in the description if you want to come and, of course, get yourself involved in that. Yeah, that's just the Premier League, though, innit? They can do whatever. They can talk about whoever they want, can't they? It's up to them. Best defender for the last 2 game weeks other than Arsenal and City. Tarkowski, Michael Keane, probably going to be 2 that I would look at. Mavropanos, Newcastle are, I think, 3rd for goal involvements conceded to centre-backs. Mavropanos and a bit of DEFCON and a goal. I've seen stranger things happen. I really have. Dewsbury for Matoma and Captain Saka. Yeah, seems fine to me. If someone has a team similar to yours, when should they triple captain? This game week or next? I would go this game week. Yeah, I would go this game week with a triple captain. I personally would. That is where I would probably go with the captaincy for this week. Or the triple captaincy, should I say. Yeah, I'd go this week. I would go this week. Who would they captain? I mean, that's the big debate I'm having. I probably would go Gabriel or Bruno Fernandes. If they're really chasing rank, maybe you consider a Bruno Guimaraes. Like, realistically, maybe if you're really considering rank, you go Bruno G. Yeah, that's probably where my head would be at with that one. I'm personally wouldn't go for Haaland. Yeah, I'm not really seeing the value of Haaland, in my opinion. Is Doku a good captain? Again, I personally wouldn't go for any of the City players. They're gonna know the Arsenal result. So yeah, it could make them more valuable, but at the same time, they've also got an FA Cup game that could go extra time. We've already seen this mass rotation from City earlier this week. So yeah, for me personally, I wouldn't go for it. What have we heard about Nico Riley? Nico Riley has been pictured in training, so that's about as good as we're gonna get, I reckon. Yeah, he's been pictured in training. That's all I've got for you. Pictured in training. So we'll see what happens with the rest of that one. Like I said, guys, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, please hit that like button. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 50 likes nice and early. It is always greatly appreciated. Get your questions in as well. We'll try and answer as many as we can. Like I said, in terms of my moves for this game week, I don't think we're going to make any transfers. I think we're probably going to roll. I spoke about in my team selection video. I said that I probably would look at like a Delo to a Michael Keane. That's about it. Harry Wilson cap, not for me personally. I think he got an early substitution last week. His contract's up as well at Fulham. I'm personally just not feeling it. And Fulham very much seem like they're on the beach at the moment. Very good from a points per game perspective, and my model really does like him. But yeah, I think there are far better options to consider heading into this game week, in my opinion. Mo Salah punt for the final game week. This is the thing, because he's leaving, he will probably come off at some point. I reckon they'll try and give him like some minutes to get him in the tank today, this weekend, sorry. Try and give him, no, it is today. Give him some minutes today off the bench, maybe like 10, 15, just make sure he's there. Then I reckon he starts the game in game week 38, but I don't think he plays many minutes. And I also think he probably comes off about 60, 70th and then gets his like round of applause and stuff like that. Saka or Gyökeres captain. I always personally like to captain players that have penalty share, or try and do that. I do just find it is a kind of, you want those players that do have the multiple avenues to points. So Gyökeres has that over Saka. The problem is I really am a little bit unsure about both of their minutes. I do just think if Arsenal are comfortably winning that game, does a Gyökeres and does a Saka maybe come off? It wouldn't shock me. They seem to be managing Saka's minutes a lot at the moment. Front line, JP Holland and DCL. In my front line, who would you change? Genuinely, I think all of them are completely fine. I really, really do. Thank you for the donation, man. He says, my team is Donnarumma, Gahey, Gabriel, Van Heck, KDH, Bruno, captain, Casemiro, Saka, Richarlison, Haaland, and Watkins. Should I start Eze over Haaland? No, I personally would probably start Eze ahead of like Richarlison. It baffles me to say it, but I think I would actually start Eze ahead of Richarlison. Even Casemiro. Genuinely, even Casemiro, probably. I know it's his final home game for Manchester United, and he's been pretty decent for points per game and all that, but yeah, I still think, again, he might get an early substitution, so he might not even hit DEFCON. Again, like I just said there, because it's his final home game, wouldn't shock me if there is an early substitution for Casemiro. You could very easily see that being the case. An early substitution for Casemiro. He comes off. Yeah, you could see that happening. Thank you very much for the donation, man. Really do appreciate that. 2 free transfers. Rice to Saka, captain, and Rodgers to KDH. Keep Rice and Rodgers and die Bruno or roll flexibility, both options. I think if you're confident Saka is going to be the best captain for this game week and you are confident that he is going to deliver, then go for option 1, right? I like option 2 though. Rodgers to Ndai, Bruno or Gabriel captain and roll. I like that option as well. So ultimately it comes down to, do you personally believe Saka is going to go big this game week? If the answer is yes to that question, go for option 1. If the answer is no and you're a little bit skeptical about it, I personally would go for option 2. You've still got Rice in there. I really like Ndai this game week as well. And I think Bruno and Gabriel could also do quite well this game week. So ultimately for me, I probably would look at those options. Yeah, those would be the options I would go for. Should I use a bench boost this game week or next? Use it this game week. The final 2 game weeks of the season, we're already seeing it with some sides that are on the beach. There's going to be quite a bit of rotation, unfortunately. It's just the way it's going to go, unfortunately, yeah. It's just the way it's going to go. I'm just going to blow my nose. It's really irritating me today. Hang on 1 second. Apologies, guys. I have no idea what is going off with my nose today. It is just dribbling everywhere. Bruno F is going for the assist record. Last home game, Casemiro farewell. I see a 3-2. Potentially, yeah. Bruno at home as well has been pretty decent, hasn't he, under Carrick as well. So yeah, you never know. Can I check the Discord? Of course, my man. I can check the Discord just for you. I haven't seen anything on Strauch. No, I haven't seen anything surprisingly this week on Pascal Strauch, unfortunately. But yeah, let me go ahead and check the Discord. Obviously, if you want to get yourself involved, there will be a link in the description. This is where we do all of our team reviews. We'll run through some model stuff a little bit later as well that you can obviously get yourself involved with. Yeah, we've had a few sent in now. 1 free transfer, 0.1 in the bank. I'm thinking of rolling or maybe Cherky to Ndai and Van Heck to Lewis Skelly. I personally would hold on to Van Heck. I don't mind Van Heck for this game week. I prefer the Ndai to Cherky one. I do genuinely prefer that. The problem is I think you might maybe want Cherky next week if City is still gunning for the title potentially. That is the only thing I would say. But other than that, yeah, I don't mind Cherky to Ndai. I really don't. I think that's a pretty nice move for this game week. Yeah, it is a pretty nice move. So yeah, I probably would do that. Struggling to decide on who to bench and who should be my first sub. Also, what do you think about captaincy this game week? Captaincy ultimately is split. Bruno Fernandes, Gabriel, like those are going to be the players. I think I would probably maybe have Lacroix ahead of Cherky, potentially. Rest of the team, though, looks completely fine, in my opinion. Yeah, rest of the team looks pretty good. I would be happy with that if that was my team. Yeah, happy with that. Very happy with that indeed. If you had Saka instead of Rice, would you cap him instead of Gabriel? I don't think I would. I still don't think I would captain Saka. I'm still like a little bit skeptical about his minutes, and I don't know if I personally would. Yeah, I really, really don't know if I would, to be honest. I'm a little bit unsure what way to really go with things. Like I said, I've got 3 captains in mind in my head, and it is Gabriel, it is Bruno Fernandes, and it's Bruno Guimaraes as my differential captaincy option. The only thing pulling me back out of Bruno G is the fact that he's already going to be a good enough rank gainer regardless of captaincy. Whereas I feel like Gabriel, Bruno, they're probably going to be plus 100% effective ownership. So maybe just captaining one of those covers me off from that, another player doing some damage to me. That's kind of where my head's at with the logic for that one. So I'm probably not going to go for Bruno G, but it is tempting. It is tempting. Want Gokres, who to transfer out, JP or Welbeck? Probably Welbeck. Tom Tavernier to KDH, DCL to Thiago. I don't mind both of those moves. Yeah, I don't mind both of those. I probably would still buy Saliba, yeah. Sell Rodgers, already have KDH. If you're going to sell Rodgers, Bruno G or Ndaya, the top two I personally would be looking at this game week. Szoboszlai is also a pretty decent shout as well. Which Arsenal attacker do you think will get the most points this game week? I reckon it's going to be someone absolutely mental. Like, Madueke is going to come off the bench. We've all watched Saka play for like 65 minutes, 0 attacking returns. They hook him. Madueke is coming away with like a double-digit haul. It's written, isn't it? In all seriousness, no. Burnley are pretty poor from right wingers, so maybe it could be a great game week to go for it. Yeah, it could be a great week to go for it. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Get those likes in as well for today's stream. Like I said, it does really help push the stream out to more people, and that ultimately is what we are looking to do. So yeah, if you are enjoying it, hit that like button. Like I said, really appreciated as always. Friendly pressure. Da -ba -da -ba -da 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 -da. Midnight. Da -da 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 -da. Taking a look at the poll for captaincy for this game week. It is tight, man. Bruno F at 26%, Gabriel at 25%, other at 15%. This could be a week where we have a lot of players over 100% effective ownership. It could be a very, very decisive week ultimately, couldn't it? I think Gabriel's going to be plus 100% effective ownership. Bruno Fernandes will probably also be there. Saka probably will also be close or if not at 100% effective ownership. I think obviously there's going to be dead teams that will have Haaland as well, so he'll still be over 100%. Yeah, it could be a very, very swingy week this week, guys. Really, really could. Should I put any Tottenham players in? No. I don't know. That's a tough one. That one. Who would I actually go for there? Yeah, I don't know who I'd actually go for there. That one's a little bit of a tough one. That is a tough one. What other defenders are there realistically that you could target for the next 2 weeks? I don't mind Van Heck. Malik Chow, given the fact that West Ham are pretty poor from conceding goals to centre-backs. Mavropanos, again, probably the other ones I would look at. Yeah, those are probably the ones. Hi, Tom. Which move do you think has the more upside? Strout to Keane or Tav to KDH? Depends who your other defenders are. And there's me having Richarlison. Look, Richarlison's fine and probably on penalties, but he just hasn't done anything really. I do just think there are probably better forwards in the game. Bowen, Thiago, João Pedro for me personally, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, all rank right now, in my humble opinion, above him. And I think it's just the way that Spurs are, isn't it, unfortunately? Oh, I mean, if you're going to ask me, I'm probably going to go Bruno G on that one. Yeah, I'm probably going to go Bruno G on that one. Best under 4.5 million defender. I would either go Keane or Mavropanos. We saw United rotated quite heavily, so I probably wouldn't look at Maguire in my opinion. So yeah, Keane and Mavropanos would be the two I would go for. Both pretty good for DEFCON. Both have attacking threat. Yeah, I like them both. I mean, Bassey could be a good shout. Given the fixture. Yeah, probably him. Yeah, probably. I think I think that's probably the best shout you were going to get. When I was reading the question, I was thinking, well, what defenders are there realistically? Alderete at 4.1 just could hit DEFCON, and that could just be enough. Yeah. Is it worth taking a -4 to bring in Saliba? Rest of my defense, no, I'm not feeling it. Rogers to Sobo, yeah, don't mind that. Don't mind that. Keane and Saka, Bruno G and Saliba. Which is the better transfers in? I'm chasing my mini league leader, who is 4 points above me. If I'm bringing in Saka, I probably give him like Keane and Saka. I think you have to give the armband to Saka, right? But I prefer Bruno G and Saliba. But that's just my personal take on it. Yeah, that is just my personal take on it. Munoz or Lacroix to Keane. I think you could easily hold both of those guys for this week. You realistically could. I think I probably would get rid of Lacroix ahead of it. Madueke for Cherky. Probably not going to start the game with Saka back. How did you feel selling Anderson to Sobo? Mate, I was gutted. The bench boost could have been like magical. If I'd have just activated the bench boost and walked away, it'd have been amazing. We'd have got a mega green arrow. Delo as well, not playing really, really hurt my head because obviously that game finished 0-0. He probably would have got, a clean sheet at least out of it. So there's another 6 points we've left potentially by the wayside. It's kind of just been that season where those 50-50 calls that I've got to make where they are tight haven't quite gone my way. I ultimately think that has been a big part of the season, is when we've made these 50-50 calls, they've either not gone our way or the other way's gone absolutely nuclear. So yeah, that's the problem, isn't it, really? Gross or DCL? I probably would go DCL. How many points did I... Like, the bench itself, we got 6 from Verbergen, 2 from Soberslai, 0 from Delo, and then we got 8 from Alderete. Like I said, if Delo would have just got 6 and just got his clean sheet, we'd have been laughing. We really would have been laughing. All or nothing, Gokras captain at 60k. Let's go. Love that. Are you planning on benching Cherky? Also, what would be good Rodgers replacement? Yeah, I'm benching Cherky this week. My top Rodgers replacements would be Bruno G, Ndai, and Soberslai. Those would be the ones I would look at. I probably would transfer out Tavernier for Ndai and start him over Gross. Yeah, probably would. Probably would go Saliba and Dewsbury Hall. Tarkowski or Dewsbury Hall to start? Probably Tark. I think it's got slightly better points per game. Mate, yeah. Would have been a good week, wouldn't it? It would have been a good week. But like I said, Soberslai was on points dodging extremes as well. Hit the post, had a few other good opportunities as well. Was creating over, I think Van Dijk hit the bar off one of his headers. Again, it's kind of just been, unfortunately, a bit of that season where things haven't really gone our way. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those. Let's head over to the model, by the way. I've got some interesting stuff to show you that we've been working on behind the scenes. Of course, if you want to get yourself involved in my model, there is a link to the FPL cartel in the description. That is where my model is currently based. We are planning on trying to get this available for you guys to have a play around with next season as well. That is the plan. We'll see how we get on with that. But this is my team. So my code is in. And this is the transfer it is suggesting for me this game week. It is Ryan Cherky out for Harry Wilson. Can't get my words out. Who's the other options as well? Interesting that it likes Dewsbury Hall as well. I didn't see this as an option. What's it going to say for Dewsbury Hall? Yeah, Dewsbury Hall's actually the better gainer here. 1.83 gains if we were to bring in Dewsbury Hall this game week for Cherky. I don't hate that. I really don't hate that. What about Ndai as well? I like Ndai. I think he could be a good option for this game week. I do like Ndai. 1.31. Would involve us like benching like Szoboszlai, Bowen, like it would genuinely be us then benching one of these guys. So I think for me personally, like for the one gain it is, I don't think it's worth it. I think the team looks pretty decent heading into this game week. The model is suggesting that Gabriel is going to get the most points heading into this game week as well. Very hotly contested between Haaland and Bruno Fernandes, though, by the way. Very hotly contested for that. But the thing that we've been building this game week, someone asked me for a free hit team as well. This is it with 101 budget. There you go. If you are on a free hit this game week, that is what the model has spat out for a free hit team for this game week. I know a few people were in the chat asking about that. But the thing we've built in this week is the bench optimizer. So if you've got two players that you are thinking about benching this game week, do let me know. And yeah, do let me know. Because the bench optimizer is here and it'll tell you who to get rid of, who to play, who to start, all that good jazz. Anyway, let's head back to the deadline stream. See what questions we've got for you guys. Who am I transferring in? I don't think, as you saw there isn't really any real gains that we can get. Maybe an Everton player, but other than that, I'm probably just going to roll through. O'Reilly or Keane, I probably would still start Nico O'Reilly. He does feel like he can be the most explosive player at any point. Looks like we've had some more teams sent in, so we'll take a look in a second with that one. Who would you bench, Welbeck or Hinshelwood? I don't grate about either benching. We'll take a look at the thing in a second. We'll take a look at what the model's saying for that one. I have double Brighton defense, double Leeds defense, and I have to start 2. I also have DCL and Hinshelwood. Start 1 between these. I'd go DCL straight off the bat. And I guess you're kind of just maybe going to have to look for the DEFCON guys, because even if they lose the clean sheet, they're still going to have some sort of value out of the game, is probably how I would say it. Or you go full covariant into one of them. So you go like full stacked into Brighton and hope that they win the game, or full stacked into Leeds and hope they win the game. This does feel like a week where Bowen and Thiago will get you huge points. I hope to God it is a week. We've been waiting for one of those. We have been waiting for one of those, haven't we? Strauch or Hill? Probably go Pascal Strauch if fit. We can have a look at that benching dilemma though in the model. What was it? Welbeck and Hinshelwood. Let's have a look. Let's get it up. So we got Welbeck and we got Hinshelwood. See what we're working with here. See what it spits out for us. It's actually saying Danny Welbeck slightly ahead of Hinshelwood there for predicted points for this week. 3.46 to Welbeck, 3.3 for Hinshelwood. So yeah, there you go. Welbeck ahead of Hinshelwood. Interesting. Not much in that though. Not much in that. DQ questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to ask me ahead of the deadline, I am here to help you guys out. Here to help you out. Here to get you those big, juicy green arrows this game week as well. Yeah, Gomez had everyone's pants down, didn't he? He really did have everyone's pants down. I think we've had a team sent in on Discord. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Right, yeah, we've had a few sent in. Ooh, okay, here we go. Hey, Tom, really unsure about a couple things this game week, especially after how game week 36 went. My bench boost is active and I've got 2 free transfers. I will 100% be replacing Gibbs White, but I have no clue what to do with my second transfer. Here are all the options I've got in mind. Lacroix to Talk, Keane, Collins, Virgil van Dijk. I know VVD may be a weird shout, but I think you could get something against a potentially rotated Villa. Morgan Gibbs White to Ndai, KDH, Bruno G, Sobo. I'm really leaning towards Bruno G right now, but I'm still not sure. Hendo to Leno or Pickford. Since I'm on a bench boost, I don't think goalkeeper as a transfer is a bad idea because I have no defense. Personally, for me, I'm going to rule out the goalkeeper transfer. I'm genuinely going to rule out the goalkeeper transfer. You cannot predict where goalkeeper hauls are going to come from. So I'm going to rule out the goalkeeper transfer. It's very low value. Yeah, it's wishy-washy. I personally wouldn't do it. I would scratch the goalkeeper transfer out your mind. Just play with what you got. The transfer is going to be more valuable for outfielders, in my personal opinion. So you're getting rid of Gibbs White. You know my thoughts. Gibbs White is going to be either Bruno G and Dye or Sobo. Those are going to be the top 3 for me this week. Obviously, I'm a Bruno G fanboy right now, so he's going to be the top pick I would say I would go for. And then defenders, what are you thinking? So Lacroix to... Again, I like Tarkowski. I think he could be a really good, valuable pick this week. So yeah, I probably would go Tark. Tark and Bruno G would be the ones I would go for. Those would probably be the 2 I would go for. For me personally, the goalkeeper transfer has no value. Has absolutely 0 value. Yeah. What's this one saying? Hi, Tom. What are your thoughts on Lacroix to Saliba this week or any other better moves? Or you could just play Calvert-Lewin. You either play Calvert-Lewin or, you just do that. They're probably the 2 moves you do, right? That's it. Those are probably the 2 moves that you do. Someone else has sent their team into the Discord. Make sure, guys, if you are in the Discord, that you are sending them into the FPL Tom stream section. We don't look in the team review section on the deadlines. We just look in here. So if you want your team reviewed by me, make sure to put your team in here. I'm going to put it in here. There we go. That is the place if you want to get your team reviewed. Matcha Mills is in the chat. Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good day at work. It's getting tight between me and Matcha Mills in our mini league at the moment. There's 1 point in it. I've taken a 1 point lead after the bench boost. 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left. Could be mudded. I don't think I would probably go the triple Arsenal defense route. I probably would go the midfielder. You either go and buy like a Tarkowski or you buy... I really do like Iliman and Die. In the Discord, if you're a member of the Discord, there is a section that is marked deadline. That is where you want to come and put your teams. KDH or and Die. KDH is more your points per game player, right? Very, very good for points per game. My model absolutely loves him because of that metric. He's the model pick, right? For my model. And Die, also quite fancied by my model, but ultimately, the reason I'm quite keen on Ndai at the moment, penalties is always going to be a big factor in my personal decision making. Then you look at the XG and the goals conceded from certain positions. Sunderland are 6, I believe, for goals conceded to left wingers, and Spurs are 3rd. So this is, an area where these sides are struggling from, naturally from that left-hand side. That is where Ndai operates. So that is why I'm quite keen on him at the moment. So yeah. How do I get my team rated? You come over to our FPL Cartel Discord. There's a link in the description. Or I'm going to post the link in the chat right now. You can sign up through the link in the chat. There you go. Link to the FPL Cartel Discord right there. Thank you for sending your team in, bro. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Let's get this up. But yeah, this is where we do all of our team reviews. So yeah, there we go. Why did we buy Delo? I honestly don't know. He's been the biggest troll this season. 2 free transfers and 0.7 mil in the bank. No changes made. Do you need to make any change? Like, seriously, is there a team that can make this team? Like, I think maybe replacing Cherky. I'm also not 100% convinced on Casemiro this week. But yeah, Casemiro or Cherky would be the only 2 players I would get rid of. And I probably would go and die Bruno G, Szoboszlai. They're the 3 that I would look to swap here. But other than that, yeah, I think you could get away with rolling this. I really, really do think you could get away with rolling this. And the beautiful thing is, if you do roll, you've got 3 next week to see what the title race picture is looking like. Because we could be in a position where both teams have still got absolutely everything to play for, or you're going to have to use transfers to get rid of Saka, Gyökeres, Gabriel, because they're going to rotate. They've already won the league and all that good jazz. So yeah, that is where I personally would be at. Oh my God, Delo being benched was one of the most frustrating things ever. Really, really frustrating. I don't have any Arsenal assets. I have 3 free transfers. Probably thinking to buy Saka. What to do? Yeah, if you've got no Arsenal assets, number 1, where's Gabriel? Got to be in there. Saka's got to be in there as well. And then that third one is either a Raya, a Saliba, a Rice, a Trossard. Hey man, hope you're doing good. Octavius Exo, one of our channel members. If you do want to become a channel member, hit the join button. It costs like 99p a month. Very cheap. You just help support the channel, get yourself shout outs in deadline streams and stuff like that. There you go. Probably Gyökeres. Yeah, probably Gyökeres. We'll have to wait and see the wave predictions. If Nkape's back in them, then probably that one. Casemiro's final game as well for Manchester United. Do remember that. Final home game, should I say. So he could play. He could play. Yeah, I like those moves you suggested there, mate. I think they're pretty decent. Yeah, I think they're pretty decent. Alexander Isak missing training yesterday and is a doubt for tonight's game versus Aston Villa. There you go. Casemiro deserves a great farewell. Fair enough. Who would you bench out of Hill, Tavernier, and Cherky? Probably either the first 2. Probably more likely Tavernier. Saw. I bench Saw in that scenario. I wouldn't do a -4 to go and get Saka in unless I'm giving him the armband. Unless I 100% believe he is the best captaincy option for this game week, I personally wouldn't do it. Yeah, I personally wouldn't do it. Do keep your likes coming in. Keep your questions coming in as well, guys. Obviously, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Today, we could hit 28.5k subscribers, which is great. Which is genuinely great. And really appreciative of all the support that you've shown throughout the course of this season. It's been great. It has been a great year. Hi, Tom. Is it worth bringing in and die to bench Van Heck? Could be, but I think Van Heck very easily could get, clean sheet, DEFCON. He's not bad at that. Yeah, don't bother going near Alexander Isak. Looks like he's not trained and is a doubt for tonight's game. So yeah, there you go. Don't go near Alexander Isak if you were thinking about it. But definitely means Szoboszlai's on penalties tonight till Salah comes on for his 10 to 15 minute cameo. People asking me about why I'm not captaining Haaland. We're not captaining Haaland because they've got the FA Cup game Saturday, right? What could happen in that game is Haaland maybe picks up a small knock. So that maybe means that he's benched and could come off for a 1-pointer. Could mean that the game goes extra time. City will also know the Arsenal result as well on Monday night. And if Arsenal absolutely trounce Burnley, would it shock me to see Pep do something mental again and bench him? It probably wouldn't. Like, it genuinely probably wouldn't. So I would rather my player not play another game before then playing for me and my team. That's just how I personally see it anyway. So yeah, for captaincy for me, it's Gabriel or Bruno Fernandes. Bruno G, I've kind of reluctantly ruled him out. I think he is a great option for this game week. But I've kind of ruled him out purely for the basis of I'm just a little bit like, well, I probably want to cover myself off from the effective ownership routes rather than Bruno G, who's already going to get me nice gains anyway. I'd actually keep Malik Chow this week. West Ham, I believe, are 5th for goal involvements conceded to centre-back, so they are vulnerable from that area. I mean, selling Wilson ahead of Wolves might not be the smartest move. Yeah. Yeah, they've known Senesi's going to leave for a while. This is also Bournemouth's chance to get into Champions League football. They're not going to care. Like, they had Dean Howson, who was like pretty much the same scenario. Same with Zabani. Both of those guys they knew were leaving in the summer. Their whole team is set up and their whole club is set up where it's a revolving door policy. So, yeah, he'll play. I'd rather bench Van Heck and play João Pedro. Yeah, play him. It's a home fixture. All right, clean sheet data as well. Nope. Anybody can join our Discord group. Link is right there if you want to join our Discord group. What matchup should you go for in game week 38? I think it's going to be hard to say because there isn't a match that stands out. Again, it's all dependent on what teams have got to play for on that final day. That, for me personally, is where I would be looking to gain. Is teams that have stuff to play for, ultimately. Go for it. You're just hoping for goal fest, right? Stack and DCL goals. The Burger makes plenty of saves, comes away with a 4-pointer. Van Heck hits DEFCON and gets himself a goal as well. There you go. Boom. If I was going to put the triple captain on anybody, I'd probably put it on an Arsenal player. I probably would, if your team's in a good place, if your team's in a decent place, I probably would go for TC this week if your team's in a good place, and then use your wild card as a free hit for the final game week of the season. You can bring whoever you want in then. You understand the scenarios. Yeah, there we go. Start Darlow or Henderson. I have both Gross and Hinshelwood. Probably go Henderson then. Nah, it could be a goal fest. Why not? Leeds have got nothing to play for. Bit of fun. Why not? Krupa Jr. for Beto or Trossard. How does that work? Go for it then. If you think my advice is solid, go for it. I probably personally would go Verbergen. That's just how I sit on it. Better points per game goalkeeper. We're getting a lot of questions about the same kind of players. So let's head back to my model and see what it's saying in terms of predicted points for these. So we've getting a lot of questions around like DCL, I think is one of them. DCL. Oh. Calvert-Lewin. Who's the other ones we're getting, guys? What else are we getting? Gross. That's another one. Anybody else? Gross. Van Heck, I feel like, is another one that we're getting quite a bit. Van Heck. Anybody else? I feel like that's kind of the ones that people have got, realistically, isn't it? Here's the projected points for these, by the way. Pascal Gross, top of the list, 4.57. Calvert-Lewin at 4.37. And Van Heck at 4.05. So there's your order, by the way, according to my model. That is the order that you go for. Van Heck is the lowest out of all of them. If you've got Gross, Van Heck, DCL, Gross is going to be the one that you select, according to the model. Now, personally, for me, I wouldn't want to bench a penalty taker, and I'm 100% confident DCL is the penalty taker. I mean, with Milner being back, maybe Gross isn't the penalty taker. So, yeah, I personally probably would go Calvert-Lewin, but the model is suggesting Pascal Gross. All of them, though, are extremely tight this game week, and all of them could easily turn on like a sixpence. It really could. It really could. Yeah. Right, looks like we've had another team sent in for review. Like I said, guys, if you want to get yourself involved in the reviews, we get them done over here in the cartel. We get them done. Matcha Mills says 2 free transfers to use. Thinking of White to Saliba, what other transfer would you make? Yeah, White to Saliba. Could you... I'm genuinely looking at this team, and I am trying to figure out what other moves I would make, because you're going to play probably Verbergen in goal, Gabriel, Saliba, O'Reilly, or Van Heck. Probably O'Reilly, right? So that's your 3. Bruno, Saka, Soberslai, Gross, Cherky, and then you're benching like Haaland, João Pedro. I think I play all of the front 3. Haaland, João Pedro, Calvert-Lewin all play. Then I guess it's a case of benching Van Heck. Well, Hill's already on the bench. It's then a case of, do you bench Van Heck, Gross, or Cherky? Is kind of the next slot you realistically run through. You could look at maybe replacing Cherky or Pascal Gross this week. And you could look at maybe going for like a Bruno Guimaraes, who you know I've got a fond affection for, or an Iliman and Die, or a KDH. Yeah, those could be the ones that you're probably looking at this game week, right? Yeah. Those would probably be the ones. So yeah, maybe put them into a spinny wheel, Mills. I only like the spinny wheel. But yeah, Saliba to White seems pretty sensible to me. You could maybe look at a Trossard in here if you fancied it. If you wanted another Arsenal attacker rather than defender. Yeah, there's some food for thought for you. No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think there is definitely a psychological factor sometimes with people using the bench boost, right? So, not the bench boost, the full budget is like, you got to feel like I have to captain a premium player, or I've got to captain this player. When at times there will be players that are valued at 4-5 million that will score just as well as anybody else. So yeah, it's a really great thing. And I think, you know, Palmer, Rodgers, the past few seasons have been great examples of that. Stack, KDH this year, also very, very good examples as well. Ha. Sorry, mate. Well, we can hope. We can hope for your sake, eh? We can hope for your sake. I think the big decisions we've got to make are still around captaincy ultimately. It's Bruno or it's Gabriel, isn't it? I think they're the 2 decisions we've got to make. What about Eze? Yeah, you could also consider Eze. It's not a bad shout. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense then. Who are you liking the most for the midfield spot? Would you rather bring in Gyökeres or Raya as the third Arsenal? Probably Gyökeres. Start one, saw Tavernier Hill. Genuinely, I think Bournemouth keep it clean or at least make it difficult. So I'd be tempted with Hill. I really would. Saul could easily start though this game. Saul could also start this game against Brentford. That could be a real humdinger. By the way, it's a 3:00 game. If it's on television, Thiago is scoring. If it's not on television, this is a Thiago hat trick. By the way, yeah. Not sure about the mid. Saka in for Sobo, Cherky, Dewsbury Hall, or Rice. Which one out of them? Probably Cherky. I also think Saliba to Munoz is also a pretty good move for your side. Thinking of Calafiori to Saliba instead. Is it a risk, but don't believe the injury? I don't think he's injured either. Mate, I have no way to get to Saka. So Saka's not even like in my contemplation thoughts at the moment. I don't have a route to him, so he's not an option. 4.5 million defender for the bench boost. Michael Keane, Mavropanos, probably going to be the guys I would be looking at. Why do I low-key want to captain Harry Wilson? Problem is he got an early substitution last week. Fulham a little bit on the beach at the moment as well. That would be the only thing I would say about that. Make sure you are hitting that like button, by the way, guys. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 50 likes nice and early. It would be greatly appreciated, as always. I think we need like 4 or 5 more people. So, yeah, if you are enjoying it, hit that like button. Let me know what your email is, mate. Let me know what your email is. I can load up sub launch now and see if you actually have registered properly. Yeah, if you let me know your email, I can have a look for you and see if you're actually in there. It doesn't look like we've had any new members sign up today. So that's all I'm going to say is it doesn't look like anybody's joined. Come on. Yeah, let me know you. There's an email that joined 14 minutes ago. I won't obviously read it out on stream and whatever, but yeah, it looks like you've signed up for it. Maybe just reload and log into sub launch, and then when you join sub launch, it should just let you like click on the Discord link. So maybe just reload the sub launch page. Let's go ahead and look at some predictions because we're getting a lot about a lot of people asking me about Arsenal players and stuff like that. So we're gonna head over to Twitter. We're gonna take a look first if the Jump the Wave predictions are in. I don't think they will be. No, they're not in yet. So we will go to FPL Meerkat first and take a look at his predictions for this game week. Make sure you go and follow in Charlie, by the way. He does this every single week. Some great work from him. This is the Arsenal team, by the way. Gabriel Saliba, Lewis Skelly is in there. Mosquera's in there. Saka, Odegaard, Gyökeres, Trossard. So there you go. Mosquera could be in there. Same with Lewis Skelly as well, but Aston Villa, Rodgers, Watkins, both predicted to start tonight. Bournemouth, all your pretty steady boys in there. Thiago in there for Brentford. Welbeck, Hinshelwood. De Cooper could be a great shout for defender, by the way. Left wing with Matoma out. That could be spicy. Chelsea, I mean, it's hard to call this Chelsea side, isn't it, after the FA Cup? Saw is in there. Someone was asking me about Saw, so maybe Saw could be the one. Everton and Dewsbury Hall. Beto, I think a few people have looked at as well. Keane, Tarkowski at the back. Leeds, Aronson, Stack, Bijol. Liverpool, we know Isak isn't going to be available. Looks like he might be a doubt for tonight's game. So Szoboszlai, Gakpo probably leading this line here. Haaland is in there. Cherky's back in. Semenyo. Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes is there. Newcastle United, Bruno G, my top pick for midfielders this game week. Sunderland, trying to think if there's anybody else. Bowen, and then Wolves. There you go. There you go. No Bruno G. Where's our differentials? KDH, probably going to be the ones you're going to be looking at, right? KDH and Dye, probably the midfielders you want to select. Yeah, they're probably the ones you want to go for. Lots of ads. I mean, my ad setting is on the lowest. I know YouTube is like a real pain at the moment for it. They've upped their ads. Like, even if you set it to the lowest setting, YouTube still absolutely spam the adverts. I've been sat in other people's streams that like also have the same settings as me, and it's like, yeah, it's just spamming adverts out. Play Kelleher or Donnarumma? I think I'd probably go Kelleher. Rice to Saka for a hit. I'd only do it for a hit if you're going to captain Saka. Otherwise, I personally wouldn't do it. Personally, probably prefer Trossard. I think Lewis Skelly is a 6 or a 2. Yeah, I really do believe he's probably just a 6 or a 2. Yeah, my squad is final. Oh yeah, if you copied me, then that would be it, wouldn't it? If you copied my Bruno G, then yeah. I mean, that is my top differential gone, isn't it? The problem with City is Cherky could get injured in the FA Cup, could play in the FA Cup. Like this is the problem with the City ones and stuff like that. So do just bear that in mind. Gokra as captain again. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. Like I said, guys, if you want to get your team reviewed by me, we do them over in the FPL Cartel Discord. That is the place to come and get your team reviewed by myself. Link in the description if you want to get yourself signed up for that as well. We did the benching order one for that from my model, and it went with DCL ahead of Van Heck. So there's your answer for that one. I personally would go with João Pedro on that one. We do also have my model's top projections for this game week. Let me know if you can see that. Yeah, there we go. These are the projected points then for game week 37. These are the top predicted point scoring players, as you can see on the left-hand side. Gabriel, Haaland in second, Bruno Fernandes in third, Bruno G in fourth. Like I said, he is my top differential pick for this game week. Rice slightly ahead of Saka, Bowen, Dewsbury Hall, João Pedro, and Igor Thiago. From now to the end of the season, if you are looking for a more, obviously, 2-game week punt player, Haaland, Gabriel, Bruno, still up there as well as some of the top players to be considering. Bowen, Bruno G, Semenyo, Rice, João Pedro, Saka, and Igor Thiago for, again, another forward on there as well. Quite a few forwards. Bowen, João Pedro, Thiago, and Haaland, all from the forward bracket. But yeah, these are the top picks from my model heading into this game week. Like I said, all of this is done in the FPL Cartel Discord server. You can come and get access to the model, come and get your team reviewed by the model as well. All of that is available, like I said, in the description. And we're hoping that we can release the full models to you guys next season as well, for you guys to have a play around with, make it work for you as well. So, yeah, we're looking forward to potentially bringing that. But it's been doing well. Has the model, and the projections have been pretty decent so far this season. And as you can see, Gabriel top for this game week. So, yeah, maybe it's going to be right about that one heading into to game week 37. Let's head back to my team then and take a look at some questions, see what you guys have got for me. Any questions you've got, like I said, do get them in. We'll be here for another 2 hours, answering questions, reviewing teams, all that good stuff. Jamie's in the chat. Hope you're doing good, mate. Why am I sure about Bruno G? Bruno G is a boss, by the way. If Anthony Gordon's going to be benched, which it looks very, very likely he will be again, you've got him on penalties, free kicks, corners, can hit defensive contributions. Everything that good happens comes from him at Newcastle. And also, you've got to factor in his home record this season has been absurd, by the way. Genuinely absurd. So, yeah, he could be very explosive. Does Eze start? I'm a little bit unsure about that one. Cool. Pep just said apparently everyone's fit ahead of the FA Cup. That's fine, but obviously there's still a game between now and the start of game week 37 for City as well. Remember, they've got the FA Cup on Saturday before they play their game on Tuesday. So yeah, do bear that in mind if you are looking at City assets. I think any of the Arsenal attackers really could be a risk. Yeah. I think all of them definitely, they're not 100% locked in or secured or anything like that. They're all a little bit dicey. Ugh. Sleepy. Sleepy. JP, hold and start. Transfer out who? I would hold JP, yeah. I think he'll do all right for the next two. Bench and play, Gross, Van Heck, or Hill. I think we did the model and it had Gross coming out top on that one. So yeah, that's probably where I'd go with that. There you go on that one. Just trying to make sure the mic's not like in my face. Let me know where you've sent it, mate. Send it into the if you send it into the deadline section and then under my stream, that is the place to send team reviews. Otherwise, the general team review one will just be everyone in the Discord will help you with your team. If you want it reviewed specifically by me on stream today, make sure you're putting it in the deadline. Like, there'll be a deadline section and then my stream name. Put it in there. That's where we'll get them done. Genuinely, I like none of them. I don't like Dango, Casemiro, or Barnes. None of them. I probably would be tempted to start Welbeck ahead of Cherky. Nah, I'd just leave it. I personally would just leave it. You say that. Igor Thiago went on that run where he just kept scoring penalties as well. He's not scoring one. He's going to score two. Yeah, Igor Thiago went on that like mad run, didn't he? Where like every week he was just scoring like penalties. Ugh, a bit tired today, me. Trossard or Hinchelwood for Scott? Probably go Trossard. Let me have a look if it's in the right place. Let's have a look what we got. Yeah, it's still not. There's literally a section marked deadline. That is where you need to put your teams for reviews. There's still nothing in there. Go to the deadline section and the FPL Tom stream section. That's where you need to go for team reviews. Just so that way I know which ones I've done. I don't mind Gok. I don't mind it, but again, I think if Arsenal are in a comfortable position, does Havertz then come on? Do you think you're sacrificing the upside of a midfielder scoring goal for safety of minutes? In terms of what? In terms of what pick? Can you make up 30 points? Yeah, but you're probably going to need like the right players to really pop off. I would probably look at an Arsenal player for triple captain if it was me. If I had my triple captain chip left this week, I probably would go for it. Sorry. What's my go-to pickup? I don't know. I don't really have like coffee or anything like that. I just kind of just go through the phase of being a bit tired and then I'll just perk back up a little bit. This is the thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Lewis Skelly. I think he could lose his place at any point to Zubamendi. And I do just think he is a 2 or a 6. I don't see the gains you get out of him. I just don't see it. I personally probably would go Saka ahead of Gokeres for captain for this week. But yeah. No, there's a deadline bit. In the Discord, there's a section called deadline with a clock on it. And then underneath it, there is GGFF stream, which is Tom's stream. And then there's my stream. That is where you want to put it. Yeah, I definitely think that's possible. I don't think that'll be too many points, maybe like 10. That could happen over 2 weeks. I could see that happening. Best non-Arsenal defender this week. Mavropanos, Michael Keane, probably the two that come to mind. Tarkowski as well. They're probably the ones. Yeah, they're probably the ones for me. Need to transfer in a third Arsenal, Saliba or Gok. Depends how many goals you think Arsenal are going to score. If you think they're going to batter Burnley, then go Gok. If you think they're just going to win like 2-3-0 and he's going to maybe have one goal involvement, go Saliba. Because that double defense, if they keep it clean, is going to, like, it is, a lot of people are getting absolutely done in by that double defense. Gyökeres or Beto for Krupi Jr.? Gyökeres. How is the coin? The coin is sat right there if you've got any dilemmas for it. The coin is here. The coin is waiting. It'll always help you answer your questions. Whatever you need, it is right there. So yeah, if you've got any questions for the coin, split decisions, the coin is right here for any of them. I don't mind the -4 you've suggested there. I really actually don't mind that -4. I don't know if it'd be worth it. I think I'll prefer Rodgers to Trossard. Yeah, all right. We can do that. Heads is going to be KDH. Stack is going to be tails, okay? Heads it is. There we go. Heads on that one. The coin, Trossard or Bruno G. Heads is going to be Trossard. Tails is going to be Bruno G. Tails, Bruno G. There you go. I'm thinking of doing Semenyo to Saka and keeping Palmer. I won't keep Palmer. Need to transfer in a third Arsenal. Raya or Gok? Gok. KDH it is. Let's go, boy. Let's go. Like I said, if you've got any split decisions, the coin is here to help you. It has been a bit cursed this season. It's definitely been cursed for my side this season. Anytime I've trusted the coin, it has let me down. We'll have a flip for captaincy call later on Bruno or Gabriel. We will have a flip for that. Coin has never made a wrong call for me. There you go. There you go. Yeah, we'll do a flip later for captaincy. Around Gabriel or Bruno. No worries. No worries. That's what we're here for. Yeah, I've dropped you a DM, mate. I don't check teams in DMs. Lucky me, I suppose. Hey, it was me last year. The coin absolutely loved me last year. Start two between Garner, Chow, Van Heck, Bowen. Bowen, 100%. I think I would maybe go... Maybe Chow or Garner's where my head is at. I'm going to go James Garner. Oh, mate, I've sent him where to put the team. I've sent him a DM. I've told him where to put the team in the Discord. We are trying, don't worry. Coin has 8 to 10 correct decisions for me. Yeah. Yeah, I've dropped you a DM, FHI, where to put the team. Any news on Trossard's mins? Nothing as of yet. We'll wait for the jump the way predictions that we might get before I wrap up today. If not, make sure you are heading over to the jump the way predictions. Rodgers to and die for a -4. I don't think I would do it for a -4, no. Cherky and João Pedro to Gokrez and KDH. I think João Pedro is a fine player to hold. I don't think I would be like instantly selling him off. The only good thing, I guess, is FA Cup. Maybe that's enough to put you off it. Bruno G. Yeah, we're going to say Bruno G. We're going to say Bruno G. He's done it! FH Knight has finally figured out how to use our Discord server. Get in! Right, let's go and review this team. Jeez, that was hard work. You made that harder than it needed to be. For anyone that wants to join our Discord server, by the way, let me go to this view here. If you join our Discord server, and the Deadline team reviews, by the way, are done in this section here called Deadline. That's Tom's stream. So if you're watching Tom's stream right now, this is where you go and put your team. As you can see, people are putting their teams in here. If you're watching my stream, this is the place to come and do it. All right. There we go. Right. FH Knight's team. I believe you've got 2 free transfers. It's a pretty good team. It genuinely is a pretty good team. And I think you could roll through it. I really do. I'm looking at who I would potentially go and buy this game week, and I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Have you got anything in the bank? Yeah, if you've got anything in the bank, let me know. But yeah, I'm struggling to see where I would possibly go with this side. I think it's a pretty decent side at the moment already. Like, I am struggling to see where you could realistically improve it. Maybe like Tavernier to Ndai, KDH, Bruno G, and bench Welbeck. Yeah. Maybe you go and get, if you've got money in the bank, Senesi or Hill to Saliba. Trossard or Bruno. Also great shouts. I personally would go Bruno G, but if you really want to target that Arsenal fixture, and I understand some people do, if you're confident that he's going to be the pick, go for Trossard. I think Bruno G is the better option and has more routes to points. So personally for me, I would go Bruno G. Yeah, that's probably where I would go with that one. I would rather have Bruno G, in my opinion. But I am a Bruno G fanboy this week. I have been for a few weeks now. Should I use my triple captain this week? Use it this week. Spoiled for choice, yeah. I personally would go Bruno G looking at that side. You could also very easily roll that side through, by the way. It's a pretty decent side and could score very well. I think sometimes because we've got transfers in hand, we do just sometimes think like, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of doing Semenyo to Saka and keeping Palmer, as Semenyo can be a Mins risk. He could be, could not be. It's kind of one of those, isn't it? I personally wouldn't. I'm just think Palmer's not that guy. What about bringing in Thiago? Let me get your team up again on my phone so I can see it. What about? Oh, I don't mind Thiago. I don't mind Thiago. Not for JP though. I'm not 100% convinced on that one. I still think João Pedro is a fine player. The problem that you might have is if Chelsea's game goes to extra time, that's maybe the dilemma you're going to have with João Pedro. But otherwise, we saw from the model, he's still quite fancied this game week. and for the remaining 2 game weeks of the season. Tottenham aren't like this super defense either. So I'm in that position where I don't know if I would sell João Pedro. I do think he's a pretty decent option for this game week. The problem is maybe rotation. But yeah, I don't think I would. Who would you use the triple captain chip on for this game week? If you've got Saka, go probably Saka. Gabriel, Bruno Fernandes, they're probably going to be the players that you realistically are going to be looking at. Palmer is 100% not that guy. Yeah, Jamie knows the deal by now. Would you start Cucurella or Van Heck? I have Gabriel and O'Reilly in the back already. I would go Van Heck ahead of Cucurella. Hi, Tom. Who would you bench between João Pedro and Calvert-Lewin? So tough. Probably I would go... Probably I would go Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, but Welbeck's not like... I think you can live without Welbeck, in my opinion. Yeah, I think you can live without Welbeck. Bruno G, Saliba in, Virgil, Cunha out. I like both the moves you've suggested there. Very nice moves. Big fan of those. Hi, Tom. Do you think I should start Senesi or Gross? I would probably personally go Gross on that one. No worries. No worries. That's what we're here for. We only need 25 more people to hit that subscribe button to hit 28.5k in today's stream. So if you are enjoying it, you are new to the channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. Yeah, make sure you're hitting the like button as well. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 100 likes as well. That would be that'd be great. Oh, where are we at? 79. Yeah, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. Cherky to Bruno G. Again, don't mind it. Don't mind it. Hi, Tom. I have one free transfer. Thinking Saka instead of Saw or Rogers. Please suggest. Should I take a -4 and get one of KDH or Bruno G? I have... I mean, if you've got like the Sunderland defenders, then maybe you go Bruno G. And I do think he is the more talismanic pick if you can get to him. I wish the season was over today. I think your team's in a pretty decent place, to be honest, mate. You've got the big boys that you need realistically for the final few weeks of the season. It kind of is just a case of, do you then go like double Arsenal defense if you can afford that? Which I think you could. You could go Van Heck to Miles, but at the same time, I think Van Heck's a perfectly acceptable option this game week. Yeah, I do just think the team is good on its own already. Like it's in a pretty good place. Again, it's all down to you. Personally, I would rule out Haaland for captaincy for this game week. I would be looking at Gabriel or Bruno Fernandes. And ultimately, it comes down to who you think is going to be the better captain for this game week. My model has Gabriel ahead. I'm still pretty unsure. I'm probably like 55% Gabriel, 45% Bruno Fernandes. I'm still unsure myself. So yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. I think Calafiori was fine. I think it was Arteta trying to save face a little bit. And not embarrass himself ultimately. Yeah, that's kind of more how I saw it. Szoboszlai or Wilson? Ooh, Wilson's got the better fixture this week. Szoboszlai, penalties, free kicks, corners, the whole shebang. And if anybody's going to score for Liverpool, it will be Dominic Szoboszlai. So, yeah, I think Fulham are a little bit on the beach as well, so I probably would prefer Szoboszlai. Yeah. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline, we are here to help you out. Also, the Holy Coin is here if you've got any 50-50 splits. If you want to get your team reviewed by me as well, make sure you are joining the FPL Cartel. Link in the description for that one. Is it viable? Yeah, definitely viable. The only concern I have with people that are going to be on triple Arsenal defense is if City drop points this week, Arsenal have won the league, right? Let's say hypothetically, Arsenal beat Burnley, City drop points, that's the league wrapped up. Arsenal's then focus will switch to Champions League football. And the concern I have then is they're going to rotate. They're going to rotate defenders. They're going to rotate, the key defenders, the Gabriels, the Salibas. They're going to drop those guys. I'm fine in that case because I can just use one of my 2 free transfers to get rid of Rice and Gabriel. I've got a backup goalkeeper. So that's the only problem. Haaland very easily could do that. He could very easily do that. But I think he'll be low 100% this week. I think people are going elsewhere with the captain, the engaged ones. They're going to Saka, they're going to Gabriel, they're going to Bruno Fernandes. Hi, Tom. Should I play KDH or Van Heck? I would play KDH. I can see Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres, Bruno all scoring more than 6. Go for it. I mean, you say that you can't see him scoring, getting DEFCON. He managed to get a 12-point earlier in the season against Burnley. Clean sheet, assist, defensive contributions, and some bonus points. Oh, 100%. Someone is going off. Someone is going to go off, but it's a case of who, isn't it? Kieran Dewsbury Hall is KDH. Bruno G ahead of Sobo for me. I don't think I would do the -4 in my personal opinion. Yeah, I don't think I would do the -4. DQ questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to ask me ahead of the deadline, do let me know. Make sure you're hitting that like button as well. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 100 likes. Nah, KDH is going to be a big enough differential himself where you don't need to captain him. I don't have the budget. I simply don't have the budget to do anything. We can't go Rice to Saka. We haven't got that budget. What have we got? We've got 1 mil. So yeah, we're way off. We've got 8.2. So Rice is remaining within the side. That's it. I'm not going to make any moves. We're pretty much just rolling through, taking 2 into next week, and then we'll see what the final week brings. Really. Yeah. Would you do Rodgers to Trossard or Saka, considering if I put Saka, I have no money for the defense? It's fine, as long as your defense is fine. Yeah, as long as your defense is fine, then I can't see that being a problem. Play Cash or Ped Porro? I would play Ped Porro. Could be a rotated Chelsea side if the game goes extra time and penalties. Spurs need points. Ped Porro can hit defensive contributions, take set pieces as well. He's a pretty good option. He's a pretty nice option, to be honest. Feeling emotion. Are there any Wolves players I would pick? No. Calvert-Lewin finished ahead on the models benching decisions this week. So, yeah. Calvert-Lewin ahead of Van Heck. There you go. I mean, yeah, like Gabriel is probably going to get 6 at the start, isn't he? Like, I think it's fairly locked in. But you look at his points, right? And he is one of the best players in the league, by the way, 4 points per game. But it's 11, 6, 8. 0, obviously, the City game. 4, 9, 11, 9. Like, these are good returns here. They're good returns, especially if you can get back to, like, this sort of spell. 13, 9, 12, 9, 12. Like, that's ridiculously good value. And we compare that to what Bruno F's been doing, who people are more likely to consider. 3, 5, 3, 6, 4, 13, 10, 8, 13, 2, 2, 2. Like, again, very patchy. Very patchy. Go on, lad. Leave your team as is. Do we think Cherki and O'Reilly start? Again, all depends what happens in that FA Cup game. Probably the last one. Keane, Gokres, Welbs. Why won't he? Burnley are pretty poor at conceding goal involvements from centre-backs. Got an assist against them earlier in the season. There you go. Like I said, we will have a go on the coin, though. The coin will decide probably what we end up doing. But it's kind of weird this year where you have to do the opposite of what the coin says. Well, that's for me anyway. So if it goes heads, like, oh, you got to do Gabriel. Yeah, it's kind of one of those. We're 1 off 100 likes, by the way. So if you are enjoying today's stream, make sure you're hitting that like button. It is really appreciated, as always. I would start Garner there. Hi, mate. Who would you start over Lacroix, Thiago, and Mook? Thiago, 100%. Never bench a penalty taker. I brought in Rice. Like, Rice has been in my team for ages. Yeah. It's not a move I've made this week. And I can't afford Saka anyway. So, yeah. We've had Rice for a little bit. Thank you very much for over 100 likes on today's stream, by the way, guys. Thank you very much. Really is appreciated, all your continued support. Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. Pep Roulette is making this hard. Pep Roulette makes everything hard, doesn't it? Yeah, we covered it a little bit earlier. We went through the models free hit side, but I realistically probably would have Saka, Gabriel, and then another Arsenal player of your preference. Bruno G probably makes it in there for me. Haaland still makes it through. I like Szoboszlai and Dye definitely would be in there. Michael Keane, maybe Harry Wilson. Like, those would be the sort of players I probably would be looking at this week. Saka, Bruno F, Gross, Cherky, KDH, bench 1, good luck. I probably would bench Cherky. Welbeck plus Saka or Semenyo plus Gokres for the last 2 game weeks. If you're going to captain Saka this week, go the Saka option. Could happen. Again, ultimately, it's hard. It genuinely is really hard to say what's going to go through Pep's mind. Which games is he going to bench people for? Which games is he going to start them for? We don't know. It's trying to read, I don't think you can read too much into it. I think with Semenyo maybe playing a full 90, maybe an early substitution in the FA Cup, or maybe even a benching. So, yeah. Hi, Tom. 1 free transfer. Semenyo, Tavernier to Sobo and Ndai with a -4. I don't think I would do that for a -4. I'll cap Saka or Gop, depending on the opinion I pick. Or I'd probably go the Saka route then, mate. Yeah, I'd go the Saka route. Again, Raya is probably the only other one I'm like going to definitely throw my hat on. The other ones, I'm not 100% confident, so I wouldn't put them in. You could play both, depends who your other players are. But Calvert-Lewin came ahead of Van Heck on the models benching picks for this week. I would personally go with Semenyo and Bowen to start there. We'll do the captaincy coin toss at 3:00. Okay, guys. 3:00. We will decide which player the coin has for captaincy for this week. Oh, I'd love it if Rice was the highest scoring. I would absolutely love that. Kieran Dewsbury Hall is who KDH is. Yeah, that's who he is. No, it's like Keenan. I always say it wrong, but yeah, it's like Keenan Dewsbury Hall. Keenan Dewsbury Hall is his name. I think my final captaincy pick will go all the way to the last minute. Yeah, I'm still really unsure. Still really unsure. I think I'd actually go Mook. Yeah, I'd probably go Mook on both those counts there. It really is, isn't it? I'm going Mavropanos. Yeah, like that. I thought it was Kevin. No, I don't think it's Kevin. It's Keenan, right? Keenan Dewsbury Hall is his name. Yeah, I think that's his name. Keenan. People are saying Keenan. Whatever. KDH. Let's just simplify it. That's why the abbreviation exists, because nobody knows how to say it. So we're going to go with KDH. Yes, I do think Trossard starts. No news about Casemiro. Like I said, we'll have a look if we get the jump the way predictions before we wrap up today, and then go from there. Bench Van Dijk or Rodon? Rodon. DCL to Gokres or Hill to Calafiori/Saliba? I think I would personally go for the Hill one. Stop Bowen or Semenyo. Bowen. Should KDH be in the England squad? Had a very good year, so probably yes. Eze or Trossard? Again, we're going to have to wait for the jump the way predictions before we kind of give you, it's going to be so difficult to call that other midfielder. I would play Anderson. Carrick said Casemiro will start. There you go. Should I go Salah over Haaland on a wild card? Salah is back, but he's only going to play limited minutes today, so probably like 10, 15 off the bench. So yeah, I don't think I would. Not for me anyway, because you're probably only going to get like a 1-pointer out of him this week. Maybe you get a little bit more next week. Yeah. Also, you got Morgan Gibbs-White as well to throw into that mix. Interesting update from Leeds, by the way. Hell of a lot of injuries. So if you've got some Brighton players, definitely could be worth playing in this game week. They've got no Gruev, no Okafor, no Goodmanson, no Bogle. Strauch is yet to train. Ampadu is ill and also considered a major doubt for the fixture. So looking at that, I think holding on to some Brighton guys and playing the Brighton guys isn't the worst idea in the world. So playing your Van Hex, playing your Pascal Grosses and stuff like that, it ain't a bad idea, lads. It ain't a bad idea. Um, it's hard to say, isn't it, really? Because I think we're going to have a few players over 100% effective ownership this week. Saka, Gabriel, Bruno, Haaland are all probably going to be over 100% effective ownership. I think it is ultimately going the best that you think for you and your side. Personally, would go Trossard ahead of Eze. Sell Dubravka. I mean, if you really need another goalkeeper, then yes, but otherwise, don't go for it. Yeah, that is huge. A lot of big Leeds players missing there as well. So yeah. Yeah, a lot of them. So that could bode well for the Brighton boys, by the way, there. So if you've got your Brighton players, definitely I think maybe worth considering playing some of those guys as well, given that news. Lot of Leeds players out injured. So yeah, do bear that in mind. I was just about to sell Van Heck. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just leave him. Like I said, sometimes just leaving your squad, doing absolutely nothing with it, is sometimes the best thing in the world. It's not the most exciting, and it definitely doesn't get you off your seat. But sometimes having that little bit of patience, trusting players that, can score points. It's not like Van Heck and Gross have been terrible the past few weeks. They've scored all right. They've scored decent points. So it's kind of one of those, isn't it? Play 2 out of Saw, Watkins, Bowen, and Hill. I probably would go Bowen and I think I'd maybe go Saw. Hinchwood, Gang, rise up. Yeah, Brighton owners could be feasting here, by the way. Wouldn't shock me if everybody sells Van Heck off for Saliba. Arsenal don't keep a clean, but Brighton do. There you go. The coin knew all along. The coin knew all along, mate. Like I said, we're going to do my captaincy flip for the coin at 3:00. Which is in 10 minutes' time. So it is between Gabriel or Bruno Fernandes. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to ask me ahead of the deadline? We'll be streaming to about 4-ish, and then we'll probably wrap things up a little bit. Get home, go and see my family today. Very excited. Haven't been home in a while. As you can probably tell from my disgusting haircut, by the way. It needs trimming. It needs cutting. We're going home. We're going see my family and going to an engagement party as well. My friend Reese sometimes watches the deadline stream. So if you're watching, mate, many congratulations. And we'll see you tomorrow. There you go. Would you play player? Potentially. Like again, I'm not even opposed to the idea of playing a Bournemouth player. I'm really not. I'm playing in Die over DCL. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I think DCL could be a decent shout this game week, Yeah, I do think he could be a pretty decent shout this game week. Oh, big stretch. Oh, do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline? My models here. We can do some benching. We could got some coin flips as well. Just put the best captaincy options on the wheel and spin. We can do that. We can do a spinny wheel. Should we get a spinny wheel up? Let's. Right, let's get a spinny wheel up. So we've got Haaland, Gabs, Saka, Yok. Who else is there, guys? Who else is there? Who else have we got for captain for this week? So we got Saka, Gabs, Yok, Bruno F. I feel like they're the ones as well. They're the ones. Yeah, I feel like they're pretty much the ones. They're all the big ones. Let's spin that wheel. What's the wheel saying? Oh, Haaland. Haaland is who it's selected, by the way. The spinny wheel has chose Haaland. Yeah, there you go. The spinny wheel has chosen Haaland. There you go. Bit of excitement for you. Bit of excitement. Bit of excitement for you. Spice things up a little bit. It has indeed been the most unpredictable season. Someone asked me a question about the model. Where was the model? Can ask the model Welbeck versus Semenyo. Yeah, we can. The wheel knows. The wheel knows. Yeah, we can ask it. So we got Semenyo and who? I think it will pick Semenyo. I'm fairly confident it will pick Semenyo. Semenyo. And who was the other one? Remind me again. Welbeck. All right, see what we got. It has come out with Semenyo on top by quite a bit. There you go. There you go. The wheel is a City fan. The wheel is a City fan. I would probably go Kelleher. Yeah, he's going to hit a brace now. It's locked in, isn't it? It's locked in. Play one of Cherky, Rayan, Krupp, Munoz. Probably Cherky. Yeah, you probably play Cherky there. No worries, man. Anytime. Anytime. That's what we're here for. Would I play Osasuna? I mean, you brought him in for a reason, right? It's a great fixture. So, yeah, probably. Am I benching Cherky? Yes. Yes, I am. Waiting for a Robin to make a camp in your head. Brilliant. Yeah, don't worry. He's getting cut today. The Barnet will be going. Yeah, the Barnet will be going. Yamal all the way. I do feel like Elise is a little bit of a one-trick pony when he cuts in inside. Like, PSG figured that out. They did. Who to play, Cherky or Calvert-Lewin? I never like benching a penalty taker, so I probably would go Calvert-Lewin. Yeah. Pep said everybody's fine and will travel to the FA Cup game, so that's about as all we've got there. Start Bijol, Hill, or Senesi. I think you go Bijol, right? But it wouldn't shock me if Hill or Senesi come away with 4 points each. It really wouldn't. Porro, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind Porro. I don't mind Porro. Set pieces, Defcon, yeah, not a bad option. I personally would go DCL. I just don't like benching penalty takers. Bowen gets on base is the best way to describe Jarrod Bowen. Has points from multiple avenues. The model absolutely loves him. And despite not scoring since January, has managed to hit 2 double-digit hauls during that period. Bowen, like I said, is ultimately a guy that is the West Ham talisman. Takes penalties, corners, free kicks. Can hit Defcon, the only forward that can do that within the game. He's just got so many points to routes to points as Jarrod Bowen. I personally would start either Malik Chow or Watkins. No worries, Liam. Happy to help. Happy to help, mate. That's what we're here for. Why did I choose Bruno G over Ndiaye? I chose Bruno G a few weeks ago. I've had Bruno G in for like 3 or 4 game weeks now. Been doing me very, very well. If I had to pick right now, again, I still think I'd probably be tempted with Bruno G. I really do. I think both are excellent options, though, for this game week. Yeah, both are really good options for this game week. What rumors? Uh-oh. What rumors are you talking about, Jamie? No worries, man. You might regret it. You might regret it. Let's wait and see. Yeah. I personally wouldn't consider going for Casemiro. Yeah, I don't think I would go for Casemiro. What's the poll saying for captaincy for this game week? 41% on Saka, Bruno Fernandes on 20, Gabriel 25. Like I said, I think we're gonna have 3 players. Oh, okay. Um, not the best. Should I sell Bowen or Calvert-Lewin? And who is the best replacement? I personally wouldn't sell either of them. I genuinely think they're both good players for the remaining of the season. Yeah. Who is the expected Arsenal defenders? Gabriel, Saliba, Calafiori, Mosquera, but it very easily could be Nkape. They could put Miles Skelly back there. You never know. João Pedro to Bowen. Again, I'd still probably leave João Pedro. I still think he's a fine player for this game week. Right. We've got the coin flip. It's time to decide who we are going to go for captaincy. Who is going to be our captain for this game week? Heads is going to be Bruno Fernandes. Tails is going to be Gabriel. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tails, which is Gabriel. There you go. The coin has spoken. The coin has spoken. The thing is, though, you should usually do the opposite of what the coin says. That's kind of been the play for me this season. I would personally not drop Bowen. No, I'd leave Bowen. Bowen's great. I think with the Leeds news, I would be more tempted to play Van Heck and drop Chow. Yeah. Do you prefer selling Cherky? Yeah, probably. Probably. bench O'Reilly or Cherky for Van Heck? Neither. Gabriel red card is coming in, isn't it? It is coming in. Yeah, I'm still unsure who I'll go for, to be honest. Leeds news is there's quite a lot of their players are out. Strauch hasn't changed. Ampadu's ill. Okafor's out. Goodmanson out. So yeah, there you go. Probably still go with Cherky there. I mean, Hill could also very easily come out with a 4-pointer, doesn't it? Oh yeah, this will be probably one of the lowest times Haaland's. It will be like his lowest effective ownership week for Haaland. We don't have a spinny wheel. We have a coin. If you want to have a go on the coin, then that is here. No worry, man. Thank you for joining the FPL Cartel Discord as well. It is appreciated. Obviously, there's so much more that just goes off than just team reviews as well. So hopefully enjoy the week. Saliba or Trossard have double Arsenal defence already and captaining Gabriel. I probably would go Trossard then if you've already got it and captaining Gabriel. I personally would go Trossard then. But then I'm going against the early... Is it the early kickoff? Like, is that United game the early kickoff? That's what I want to know. Is the Manchester United game the early kickoff? Because it's not on a Saturday, it's on a Sunday, but it's the first game of the day. So it's kind of one of those, isn't it? It's kind of one of those. Hmm. I don't mind triple captain Gokres. I don't mind it. Yeah, I probably would go the Dewsbury Hall one. Yeah, definitely a good time to reflect on what we've learned from FPL. Definitely so. I would personally go Gross ahead of DCL. That's what the model was spouting out today. Yep, Gokres takes the penalties for Arsenal. I'm doing good, man. Hope you're doing well, Billy. Hope you're doing good. Oh, I'm still genuinely unsure which way to go for. Burr, 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 burr. Da, 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 da. Do you get your questions coming in, guys? Anything you want to ask me ahead of the deadline? Yeah. Yeah, target talisman is one of the easiest ways to get gains in this game, ultimately. Yeah, these guys that just have the routes to points from everywhere. And then when, you know what I mean, you also get to that period where you load up like your scoring app, whatever that be, Sove Score, Flash Score, FOTMob. You load it up and you go, it's that guy again. He's got the assist or he's got the goal. Like, it's always those type of guys, isn't it? You know what I mean? It is always those type of guys. They're always there. Coin, Trossard, or Eze. Yeah, we can do that. Heads is going to be Trossard. Tails is going to be Eze, okay? Heads it is. Oh, heads it is. There you go. Captain Gokaros or Gabriel. Gabriel. Yeah, 100% as well. They're the first guys that usually are, you know, at the forefront when it gets a bit tough. They're the guys that will go and like try and pull the side out. I don't mind it. I think though they do just have like Visser just kicking about, don't they? And Walter Marder. That's the only concern I have around those. What's the Leeds player update? Strauch, doubt. Ampadu, doubt. Okafor, Goodmanson, out. Gruev, out. Boom. No, I think it's just 6. I don't think Arsenal winning it affects anything. Yeah. Yeah, I think we all remember that. And I think that's why we've probably been a little bit burnt as well. Bench one of Scott or Hill. Scott. Would you sell O'Reilly for Tarkowski? I don't hate that move. I really don't hate that move. Yeah, I don't hate that move. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Yeah, yeah. I'd wait for those predicted lineups as well. I mean, the only differential defenders I probably would be considering would be another Arsenal one, or you go Keane, Mavropanos, Tarkowski. I can't remember. There was an article that I read the other day. Again, I have to read a lot of football stuff. I can't remember it. Can you name some differentials? KDH, Bruno Guimaraes, Ndai, Mavropanos, Malik Chow. Yeah, they're just some of the ones off the top of my dome that we've been recommending. Yeah, I can't remember. There's an article that someone put in our Discord server the other day. I need to go back and read it. I don't know what my mic's doing there. It's like twiddling about today. Dan Burn, I'd rather have Malik Chow. Watch Dan Burn go and score now. It's just the way it always goes, isn't it? It's just always the way it goes. Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes, you might. Yeah, potentially. Oh, don't go anywhere near Delo. Jesus, don't go anywhere near Delo. He's been one of the reasons that my season has fell on its arse the past few weeks. Don't go anywhere near Delo. No worries, mate. Best of luck this game week. It's kind of one of those do you think it was Arsenal? Do you think it's just Arteta trying to save face? I think it's a little bit more of that. The low 50, it honestly wouldn't even shock me at this point. It really wouldn't. It really wouldn't. He's been like the biggest troll ever going, by the way. Yeah, it's just one of those. Sometimes you get players like that, regardless of what you do with them, they're just trolling. No, I don't have any transfer plans. No transfer plans for me. Who are you managing in Football Manager? Let me know. I haven't played Football Manager in years. I used to absolutely love it at like uni and lockdown was like prime for me. Me and my mates did like an unemployment test because obviously in lockdown I was in university at the time, so I didn't have anything to do. So we basically all did an FM save, and it was who could win the Champions League the quickest from unemployment. Like, so you got no badges, all that good stuff. So yeah, I won. I won the challenge. I got to Chelsea, and won the Champions League with Chelsea after couple years in the Swiss League. That was the best part of the game for me when I was in the Swiss League. I had like an unbelievable, we used to just pick up like youth players from Dortmund and stuff like that. We won the Europa League. It was it was just such a great side, and we won the league, won the cup. It was unbelievable. I am not a Manchester United fan, no. I am a Mansfield fan. We play in League One. Worksop Town had to install the expansion packs to manage. Very nice. Obviously, I'm not near not near Worksop, but not far. You know what I mean? Originally where I'm from. Free transfers, top 8K. Should I sell Tavernier to Bruno G? Yes. Strout to Keane? Yes. Or Saliba? I probably would go Bruno G and Saliba. I like those moves. I played FM for over 10 years. Always started with Torquay. Nice. Start one of Rogers, Ampadu, Bijol. I would go Rogers. Ampadu looks a little bit of a doubt for tonight's game. For Sunday's game, sorry. Bijol with some of the Leeds defenders that are injured probably would be enough to steer me away from him as well. I'm good, man. Hope you're doing good as well. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think you've got a few players like that, Beto and stuff like that, that maybe. What is my target rank? I would love to get a top 100k finish. Do I think it's possible? Probably not. I think we have to get captaincy 100% right this week. and hope that my other players really do well. But other than that, probably not. Best Everton mid, Ndai or KDH are the two you realistically want to be looking at. I don't play it anymore, unfortunately. I haven't played it for a few years now. Like I said, I've got other things going off. I've got this channel, I've got the gym, I've got a girlfriend and stuff like that, and work. So, most of my time is making content for you guys, or then spending time with my girlfriend and watching football. That's it. That's all I've really got time for these days. How do you feel about Dalot to Saliba and Rodgers to Hinchelwood? Other option, KDH, but with all the Leeds injuries. Yeah, I like the moves you've suggested there. Nah, play it safe. I think with just a couple good game weeks, you could very easily get that up and beyond. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's. I think that's very close where you could potentially get something like that. What's my rank? I'm 190 at the moment. Can you do a coin flip? Hinchelwood or KDH? Yes, we can, my man. Tails is going to be Hinchelwood. Heads is going to be KDH, okay? Tails. There you go. It's Tails. Beto or Welbeck? Welbeck. Welbeck. Does Rio play? I reckon he could if Isak's out. Yeah, I think he could. Again, though, he probably only plays about 60. That's the problem with Rio at the moment. They're just managing his minutes because he's a young player. I think people will have seen what's happened to Saka and kind of just don't want to, completely riddle this young attacker. It's in everyone's nature, isn't it, a little bit? Who do you bench if you had to pick one? Bowen, Semenyo, Gross, Hinchelwood. If I had to bench one, probably Hinchelwood. Yeah. Wilson, KDH, or Bowen, which one would you bench? That is ridiculous. Surely there's got to be somebody else you can bench there. Maybe Wilson. Like, he's been really off the boil in recent weeks, hasn't he? I probably would start Hinchelwood. But Sar's also a very good option and probably will play all right minutes this week. I just think Palace, again, their whole focus is European football. Brighton is winning games, trying to get as many points to get themselves into European football for next season. So that's how I would look at it. Friendly pressure. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. It's a dying perm. Yes, it's a dying perm. Hopefully it'll be back at full strength with the mullet. Like, we have a mullet built in. Yeah, it's just been a while since I've been able to get home and get a haircut. So we'll be going back this weekend. Hi Tom, what do you think about these moves? Tavernier to Bruno G and Semenyo to Trossard and Rice. Don't hate it. Not as big a fan of the second one, but I like the Bruno G bit. I do like the Bruno G bit. Hello. Hope you're doing good. Oh, me back. We do only need 8 more people to hit subscribe on today's stream, by the way, as well. We're at 28,492. So only 8 more people to hit 28.5, which is pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, this is the thing. Thiago could be, but again, I feel like there's so many good, valid options this game week that, yeah, I just feel like Thiago maybe doesn't work his way in. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've just got that feeling. I've just got that feeling. That's just my feeling anyway. Depends what happens in the FA Cup. I think, again, there's plenty of really good captaincy options. By the way, I think I'm going to lock it. I genuinely think I'm going to lock Bruno Fernandes captain in. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just feel like I am. I just feel like I am, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. We're going to lock Bruno Fernandes captain in. Gabriel's going to go to Vice. We're going to lock it in. We're going Bruno. We're going Bruno. We're doing the opposite of what the coin said, because that has been the player this season. But yeah, I'm going Bruno Fernandes. I do just feel like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the final home game. Maybe it's the assist record. Yeah, I'm going to go with Bruno. I'm going with Bruno. Probably Mook, given the injuries that Leeds have got. Yeah, maybe just cover off some of his other players that he's got, and maybe just make sure you got like the same captaincy and stuff like that. That's probably my suggestion. I'm just gonna have a look if the jump the way predictions are out. We'll have a look if any of those are about yet. None as yet. None as yet. Yeah, we will be doing World Cup Fantasy. We will be building a model as well in the FPL Cartel group, by the way. So, yeah, make sure you're getting yourself involved in the FPL Cartel. We will be building a model. We've got some betting numbers up already as well, which is, cool to see and exciting to see. You know what? Let's give you guys a sneak peek of that. Let's give you a sneak peek of that. Shall we do it? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Oh. Yes. Wake my app up, please. This is awkward, isn't it? This is awkward. It's having a moment, having a think. Get a quick refresh. I don't know what has gone wrong with this. Maybe it's something I need to have a look at in the behind the scenes. But yes, I was I was gonna have a look. There we are, but it's broken. It's not working. Cool. Apologies for that. Yeah. I don't know what's going off with it. It's fell over or something. Something in the back end will be broken or something somewhere. So yeah, we'll take a look at that. Who do you see winning the league? Arsenal. And who do you see winning the Europa Conference League? Villa, Palace, and then I think PSG are going to win the Champions League, and then Arsenal are going to win the Premier League. Yeah. That's what I think is probably going to happen. Again, I think there's probably better options. I think Gokres is already, a decent player with, all right low ownership that you probably can get some good games out of him. Yeah, I don't know what's gone off with it. It's like I give it a minute. Look, it's still just like having a minute to think about things. I don't know. Maybe I need to have a look at upgrading something in the back end. Anyway, this is the website for the World Cup. So we got all the betting data and stuff pulling into here as well, projected goals and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what we've built for the World Cup. You can obviously come get full access to this. We'll be covering it in my videos as well and stuff like that. But yeah, here you are. Obviously some of the top fixtures for the World Cup. Norway, Austria, some of these teams. Portugal here. We'll have you covered. we'll have you covered in the cartel. So make sure you're getting yourself, like I said, involved in that one. Maybe then. Maybe. I don't know what's going off with it. I'll have a look. Tom, Cherky, or Rogers? Cherky. Sit one, Saw, Munoz, Dango. Probably Munoz. Bowen, Haaland, and Thiago. Who should I sell for Gokrez? Genuinely, none of them. I think they're all great options for this game week. If I was going to sell one, Thiago, but like ultimately, I think I would want to keep all of them. I think all of them are great options this game week. What do I think will happen with that next year? I don't think we'll get a new chip. I think they'll probably do what they did again. I think there'll be tweaks to DEFCON. Either it will be completely gone, or they'll bring in like attacking DEFCON metrics, like chances created, shots per goal. I think that's what they'll end up doing. Yeah, that's what I think they'll end up doing. She doesn't like football. Doesn't like football. She's into rugby. Yeah, rugby league. Obviously, it's quite big up here in the north of England. And Wakefield is her team. And they're now my team as well. So yeah, I'm a Wakefield fan. There you go. Haaland, Bowen, Thiago, Bruno, Rice, Sobo, KDH. Yeah, looks fine. Looks fine for me. Welbeck and probably Saka. Yeah, probably Welbeck and Saka. That's where I go on that one. Like I said, guys, we'll keep on plowing through till about 4 o'clock, and then we'll let all the big boys go and do their thing. So yeah, if you enjoy obviously their streams, get yourself involved in them. If you enjoy my stream, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well. Have we hit the magical number yet? I don't think we have. Yeah, this is going to be my final team. I'm not going to make any transfers. Again, depends what happens in the FA Cup ultimately. If the game goes extra time and stuff like that, yeah, then we could see quite a bit of rotation. I would rather Spurs get relegated. I'm a big Jared Bowen fan, so yeah, I'd rather see Spurs get relegated. Best differential captains, genuinely, like, all of them are probably going to be, like, low 100% effective ownerships. But, like, Haaland's probably going to be at his lowest that we could expect for a long time. Bruno Fernandes is probably going to be at the lowest we've seen in weeks. Gabriel's going to be just over 100. Saka's probably going to be just under or over 100. There's going to be so many. Like, I don't even think you need to, like, think outside of the box to be a little bit different with captain. Like, I'm going Bruno F. I guarantee most people won't have Bruno Fernandes captain this week. It will be a Gabriel. It will be a Saka. So, yeah. No worries, man. Hope to see you in the Discord. Wishing you the best of luck this game week. Like I said, guys, team reviews are done in the FPL Cartel Discord. Why am I not playing Cherky? Just low predicted points across all of the models. So mine, review, Solio, all of them has him sat on the bench. So yeah, there we go. Again, it's just that uncertainty as well around City, what they do in that game. Cherky maybe gets injured, comes off for a 1 point. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's kind of all on those. Here's Tom as well. He's gone for Team Gabriel. Team Bruno Fernandes for me, mate. Team Bruno Fernandes. Just got a feeling. No worries, man. Glad we could help. Glad we could help. I finally need a good week. Sometimes my team looks amazing. Like, genuinely, sometimes I'll load into a week and I'll think, my team is absolutely brilliant. And then we'll get there and it'll get like 4 points. Just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? And I think that's the thing with FPL as well, is like last week, I think my team was on points dodging. Like Bruno G and Soberslai were points dodging. This week they could have less opportunities, but somehow get more goal, like more points, more goal involvements. That's just sometimes the way that football goes, isn't it? Ultimately, because it is such a high variance sport where anything can happen. Kind of is one of those, isn't it? My worst player is probably Wilson, and he's got a great fixture, hasn't he? But watch him come away with 2 points now. I would personally go with a Bergen ahead of Darlow this week. Yeah, I probably would. By the way, we only need 4 more subscribers to hit 28.5k, which would be great. Puts us in a really nice position heading into the World Cup in the summer. Definitely think we could hit 30k over the World Cup, which would be great. Heading into the new season, ultimately, let's see where we could go. Like, it could be the moon. It genuinely could be the moon. Maybe, like, I've wrote it on my goals for the year is 50k. Who knows? Like, we doubled our subs this year, and we went from 14, like about this time last year, to where we are now, 28. If we double 28 again, that's over 50k. It's over 50k, boys. We'll be here grinding away anyway. Keep working hard. That's what we got to do. Pick 2 from Rice, Trossard, Bruno G, KDH. Bruno G, and then die. Yeah. Those would probably be the 2 I would go for. I don't mind Rice to Saka. Yeah, I don't mind Rice to Saka. Don't mind it at all. Oh. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline, do let me know. We'll have a look if we've got the jump the wave predictions. Nothing as of yet. Sheshko's still out. Dun, 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 dun. Start 1, Cherky, Van Heck, or DCL. I don't like benching penalty takers, so I probably would go DCL. Otherwise, I think I probably would go Van Heck, you know. I really do. Leeds have got quite a few players out this week. Saka, mate. Saka is where I'd go with that one. Looking at the poll for captaincy this week, Saka leading the way. Bruno F on 19%, by the way. If he goes off, we're going to get some mammoth gains. Gabriel, 25%. Other at 15% as well. We're approaching 150 likes, by the way, on today's stream. If you haven't already, make sure you are hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 150. That would be great to see. And really end off the season spectacularly. Because it has been a great season. Been a really enjoyable one. We only need 3 more subs as well to hit 28.5, which would be nice. It would be a great way to end off it. It really would. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to know ahead of the deadline, do let me know. We'll try and answer as many questions as we can before we finish up. This is my team for this game week. We're going with Bruno Fernandes, captain. We're not making any transfers. We're taking 2 into next game week to kind of just assess how that title race is going to be ultimately looking and look for any, obviously, rotation. In your opinion, who would be the most suitable captain for my team? Haaland, Bruno F, Gabriel. I personally would be looking at Bruno F or Gabriel would be the 2 that I would go for. 2 mid, under 6.8 for the last 2 game weeks. And Bruno Guimaraes are my top 2 there. Oh, I'd never bench Elliot Anderson. Never, ever bench Elliot Anderson. No. Don't bench Elliot Anderson. Keep Elliot Anderson in there. Elliot Anderson is like just guaranteed 4 points, isn't he? I put Welbeck on the bench and play Wilson with the fixture. Yeah, I would. Comes and goes, comes and goes. Like a band. I would personally, if I've got Saka, I probably would give him the armband. It looks like he's probably going to be the most owned like captain this week, in my opinion. I think the model said go gross. I think it is tight though between the 2 of them. But yeah, the model went gross. I don't know if I'd do the -4. I guess if you're bench boosting though, that could cover that off. So not the end of the world. So yeah, you could probably do it. We are ridiculously close, by the way, to 150 likes on today's stream. If you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, please be sure to hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. How many subs are we off? 28.5. Where are we at with that one? 2 to go on that one. So 2 and 4, you guys can do it. Tom, what are your thoughts on moving Cherky to Bruno G? I want to get on the wagon, but don't have the funds to Casemiro to Bruno G. I don't hate it. The problem is it could be a nice option for next week for City. You know, Villa are probably going to be heavily rotated if they've, won the Europa League. That's my only concern, and that's why I'm deciding to keep, Cherky available for next week. But Bruno G for the next 2 weeks also could be a very fine option, and this is probably the more ideal week for Bruno G. If it was me, I probably would do it. But I would obviously consider the final 2 game weeks of the season before making that move. If you want to play Hinchelwood, bench Cherky, play Hinchelwood, do it. Go for it. Go for it. We've hit 150 likes on today's stream, and we have hit 28,500 subscribers on the channel, by the way. Thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your continued support this season. It's been immense. It's genuinely, like, I know in the game, it's been a bit of a mid-season, but outside of it, the growth has been exponential. Yeah. Can't thank you enough. Really, really can't thank you enough. Genuinely, so much time for every single one of you that comments, likes the video, watches the video. It really is appreciated. And yeah, let's just keep this train cooking and see where we end up. Dewsbury Hall and Saliba for me. Ooh, I like those moves, Saliba and Ndite. Problem is, Szoboszlai could do all right. Like he's still going to be an all right option. That is the only concern I would have with that one. I would probably go Henderson. Yeah, I probably would go Henderson on that one. Thoughts on Lewis Potter? He looks all right, right? Is he playing right wing? I think he's playing right wing at the moment, or left wing, isn't he? I don't have them. Rob T is the best source for that on Twitter, if you are needing some, by the way. Yeah, Rob T's your guy if you need some of those. Never bat the early kickoff. Is it the early kickoff, though? That's kind of the question I'm asking myself. Is it the early kickoff? Because technically the game tonight is the early kickoff. Hincapié, I'm not 100% sure he starts, so I probably would swerve it. Probably would swerve it, give it a miss. I'm still waiting for the jump the way predictions to come out. I don't think we're going to get them. I'll put them in the Discord afterwards. Oh, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Leno, maybe? Yeah, you're probably looking at Leno. Hermanson around that same price. You know, it's Newcastle away, but Newcastle haven't been great, have they? Kelleher, Pickford, Darlow, like maybe Leeds keep it clean at home. Yeah, there's some off the cab for you, if you like, off the rank. Off the dome. The Leeds injuries are Ampadu, Strauch, Goodmanson, Okafor, Gruev. It's quite a lot of players. Yeah, quite a lot of players. Hill's probably the most the one you probably would bench there. Yeah, I think Hill's probably the one you bench there, to be honest, realistically. Yeah, I probably would take a gamble on Trossard for Rodgers. I probably would. Dalot and Rodgers to Saliba and Hinchelwood, or Tark and Trossard. I probably would go Saliba and Hinchelwood. I think you could leave João Pedro. I think he's still a very, very good option for Chelsea. Yeah, I still like João Pedro. I still think he's a decent option. Right, guys, I am going to leave it there. We've been live for nearly 3 hours today. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you very much for, obviously, your continued support. It really is appreciated. Get yourself in the FPL cartel if you want to come and chat to me after the deadline. We'll be doing team reviews in there and stuff for the next few hours as well, up until the deadline. So, yeah, get yourself involved in there. I'm going to end today's stream. Like I said, I need the toilet, actually. But yeah, come over to there. Thank you for everybody in today's stream, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. Thank you very much, and the best of luck, ladies and gentlemen, in game week 37.